If you want to have a quiet beach vacation right on the seashore in a fantastically beautiful place, then Koh Rong Island Beach Resort is exactly what you need. There are hardly any people on the island. The beaches are stunning and deserted, with amazing views and jungles.
I'd like to share with you an awkward situation I got myself into, so you don't end up in the same silly predicament. I needed to ask someone, though I wasn't sure if it should be the boat captain or the person who sold me the ticket, that I needed to be dropped off not at the main pier, but at a different pier. I opened Google Maps, plot a route to my resort, and it tells me, well, there's basically no road along the sea. You have to go around through the jungle on some other trail, and your journey will take about 56 minutes.
Hello everyone, you're on the M2 Cambodia channel. Here, it's all about the square meters of Cambodia that you, as a foreign citizen, can buy for yourself. But this video isn't about Cambodian real estate, it's about vacationing in the islands of Cambodia near the city of Sihanoukville. The resort where I'll be staying, the one this video is about, is actually listed on booking.com as a 4-star beachfront resort hotel. It has an outdoor pool, a private beach, a restaurant, a terrace, and a bar. Koh Rong Island is generally known for its sandy bays and coral reefs. The island's landscape is dense jungle with coconut palms and waterfalls. You can watch beautiful sunsets right from the pool and the restaurant of this resort. Everyone who lives in Cambodia's capital, Phnom Penh, for a long time sometimes feels the urge to take a break from the city, that is, to get away from all the skyscrapers, high-rises, the hustle and bustle, and the noise of the big city, and so on. And the best option is to relax on the islands near the small resort town of Sihanoukville. So, basically, in this video, I'll give you a little review, so to speak, of my vacation on this island. I'll show you how I get from the capital to Sihanoukville and then onto the island. And, of course, there will be a short review of the hotel on this magical island. Let's watch the video.
M2 Cambodia Realty, your guide to the concrete jungle of Cambodia.
In general, buses, minibuses, and trains go very often from Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville, but in my case, since I have luggage like a large bag, I ordered a taxi, and the taxi here is like this. Here. Toyota Highlander, that's what I'll be going in. My journey starts, you could say, in the most popular neighborhood among expats in the city, which is called BKK1. That's an abbreviation. The full name is Boang King Kam 1. It's a trendy, upscale area where modern life blends harmoniously with elements of local authenticity. There are plenty of stylish cafes, restaurants serving both local and international cuisine, as well as various boutiques here. There are also several international schools in the area. This is one of the reasons that makes this neighborhood an ideal choice for expat families. You could also say that the BKK1 district in Phnom Penh is probably the best area for real estate investment. But overall, Phnom Penh is definitely a city of contrast right now, and according to many travelers, it's like Bangkok 30 years ago. That includes its investment opportunities as well. What do you think of the residential complex on the left side? Doesn't it remind you of something? Let me know in the comments. And since my channel is all about Cambodian real estate, let me say a few words about that. Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, is definitely the first city you should consider for real estate investment. And here's why. Phnom Penh is the country's economic center, with a constantly growing GDP. The infrastructure here is developing rapidly. Phnom Penh's real estate market is diverse. In other words, there's a wide range of investment options here. And there's quite a high demand for rentals in the city, mainly because a huge number of expats live here. They partly make up the middle class, which is what drives the strong demand for rentals. And by the way, right now I'm driving on a modern road. This is a modern highway that opened not too long ago. The distance from Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville is just over 200 kilometers. I hope I'll be able to cover it in 2.5 hours. So, we're getting close to Sihanoukville, and I want to say a few words about this city. Sihanoukville is the main coastal city in Cambodia, and it's experiencing rapid development, offering plenty of investment opportunities as well. But most of the investments in this city come from China, and there are casinos operating here. And the deep water port located in Sihanoukville is crucial for the country's economy. Sihanoukville is also believed to have strong tourism potential. There are white sandy beaches here, and paradise islands, one of which I'm heading to right now.
Upon arriving at the port of Sihanoukville, or more precisely, at the spot where the speedboats depart for the island, if you bought your tickets online like I did, on the website of the company that handles these transfers, then you'll need to visit the office of that company here. Here it is, right behind me. And here, they'll give you a paper ticket. With that, you can go straight to the boat. Also, there's a 7-Eleven nearby where you can pick up something interesting that might come in handy on the island.
There's also a cafe called Amazon at this location, where you can grab a bite to eat. And this is what the pier looks like, where the speedboats to the islands depart from. And actually, I'll be taking one of these boats too. Since I was one of the first to board, I think I'll pick a seat right behind the captain, in the front row, over here on the right. The trip to the island takes about 45 minutes. I'll say right away, this is a really nice island far from the mainland and a great place for some solitude. So, what's up? At 9:30, I left my house in Phnom Penh, got into a taxi, and set off. Now it's 3 o'clock, and I'm already at the pier, on the island. But actually, from this pier to the hotel where I'll be staying, I still have to walk 900 meters. That way! What do you think of this place? Write your thoughts in the comments. The bay where this resort is located is called Long Beach. Well, I finally made it to the resort. As you can see, the sea is right behind me. And on the other side is the bungalow where I'll be staying. Let me show you. These are the kind of bungalows they have here. They're all pretty much the same. And the beach is right here. You can only get around the hotel grounds using these well-maintained paths. Well, it's evening now, almost 5:30 local time. So you can catch a beautiful sunset. And over here, there's a small river that flows into the sea. And there's this little bridge here. If you cross this bridge, you end up right on the beach. Well, that's about it. Oh, and by the way, the tides here are really noticeable. So, should I show you the house where I'll be staying? Let's go. A little apartment showroom, so to speak. In the rays of the sunset in the evening, this little house looks like this. Apparently, this is the place to work. Well, something like this. In Cambodian style. But behind this door is the bathroom. And right here is the shower room. And now, an evening walk. Let me show you how everything looks here in the sunset light. Since this resort is located on the edge of the bay, meaning at one end of the bay, it's not a through place. There are very few people here, so those who live here, if they get bored, go out onto this little bridge to the shore and take a walk along this beach to the other side of this bay. And right here, by the way, on the resort grounds, we have relaxation areas. So, for example, these loungers for 2 people, with a frame and curtains above them. I also decided to take a walk along the shore and show you what it all looks like in the evening. There are various cafes along the beach. Some of them belong to the resorts, and some are independent. And there are also all sorts of fun little things for tourists, like this swing, for example. This bay, where the resort is located, is really well situated. There are almost never any waves here. Right here on the right is a small cafe, not connected to any resort. As you can see, there are hardly any people around. Maybe later there will be more people here. It's just that it's not quite evening yet. I decided to come closer and check out the menu. If anyone is really interested in the prices, there will be a shot of the menu in a moment. You can pause the video and take a closer look. Good morning. So, let me show you what this resort looks like in the morning sunlight. And let me show you what they serve for breakfast here. By the way, I'm about to head over there now, and they have a buffet. So, I'm stepping out of my bungalow, and in the morning it's still pretty nice. The sun isn't too hot yet, so you can actually walk around, you know. Let me show you how everything looks in the morning sunlight. More. I want to mention that, in terms of peace and quiet, this is the quietest hotel on the beach. In the evenings, you could hear music from afar, but with the door closed in a bungalow, you can't hear it at all. That means you can sleep peacefully and rest. Look, in the evening you could see that the tide was out and the sea was pretty far from the loungers. But in the morning, the situation changed. Now the sea is actually pretty close to the loungers. Overall, the length of this bay is about 4 kilometers. And in total, there are 23 bays on this island. The area of the island is 78 square kilometers, and this island is inhabited. About 1,100 people live here. The population density is about 14 people per square kilometer. And besides the white sandy beach and the clear turquoise water, sometimes monkeys come running up to the bungalows at this resort. Well, they ask tourists for some food. So, in other words, it's never boring here. Well, just for your information, in the southern part of the island, there's a small zoo with butterflies, snakes, and birds, as well as the lively Polis Beach, where parties are often held. And there's also the High Point Rope Adventure Park here. It features a complex of suspension bridges and rope courses, as well as a zip line, that is, a steel cable descent course. So, in other words, tourists definitely have things to do here.
What is it?
Soup.
Soup.
Of course, the selection here isn't like in a 5-star hotel, but you definitely won't go hungry. Fried eggs, omelets, sausages, noodles, fruits, vegetables, they have it all. But since there are a lot of Chinese tourists here, there's also a lot of food specifically geared toward Chinese tastes. But the most important thing isn't just the variety and the breakfast itself, it's that you get to enjoy not only the food, but also the view of the bay.
So, while I'm finishing up my breakfast, or rather, finishing this wonderful smoothie, I wanted to share with you an awkward situation I found myself in. Just so you don't end up in the same silly situation. So, what's the point? Well, I chose a beach vacation on an island specifically to get away from civilization. I was just browsing hotels and resorts on the booking site, looking for ones right on the beachfront, where the bungalows have a sea view. And I wanted the resort to be far from the island's nightlife scene, but at the same time, I wanted it to be within walking distance of the pier where the boat arrives. So, basically, I picked this resort. Everything seemed fine. It's not far from the main pier where the boats arrive, just about 900 meters. I thought, okay, everything's good. I booked the hotel, and it seemed like nothing could go wrong or leave a kind of awkward situation. And actually, after I booked the resort on booking.com, I even got an informational email from them saying, "Thank you for choosing our resort." They pointed out that you need to buy a ticket for the boat that will take you to our island in advance, preferably 1 or 2 days ahead, and it's best to buy a round-trip ticket right away. They also emphasized that I needed to buy a ticket specifically for the boat going to the beach called Long Set. So, you get that this island is actually not that small, right? It has different beaches, different bays, and different piers where boats from various companies arrive. And in this email from the resort, it said that our resort is located on Long Set Beach. The boat that goes directly to this beach belongs to a specific company. Here is the website of that company. There you can buy a ticket online. And it was written very clearly so that I wouldn't accidentally buy a ticket to a different place, that I needed to buy a ticket specifically to the Long Set Beach Pier. And everything seemed fine. So, I went ahead and bought round-trip tickets specifically to the Long Set Beach Pier. And that seemed to be it. I just didn't notice that there was another sentence saying that I needed to ask, though I wasn't sure whom, either the boat captain or the person who sold me the ticket, to drop me off not at the main pier, but at the Barcus Pier. So basically, I just missed that detail. So, basically, the funny situation is as follows. This big speedboat brings me to the pier at Long Set Beach, which, by the way, is way over there in the distance. I get off at this pier, check Google Maps, and see that my resort is about 900 meters along the shore from there. I think, well, that's nothing. So, everything's fine. I've arrived, and I can walk those 900 meters with my suitcase. There must be some kind of nice path along the sea here. But actually, there were a lot of tourists on that boat, and for some of them, their resorts are really far from this pier. So, actually, you can really pick a resort here that's located very far from any pier. And it doesn't matter which boat or which pier on the island you arrive at. You'll still need to take a taxi, or hotel staff will meet you. I saw people standing there with signs. It said things like, "Hotel, such and such resort," and the tourists go to them. Basically, they load everyone into a car and drive them. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And my resort is kind of nearby. But some tourists actually picked resorts that are literally within walking distance from this big pier. So they just walk down the path with their bags and check into those very resorts. So, I also stepped out onto the coast and looked around. I saw a well-maintained path, paved with tiles, leading exactly in the direction of that resort. I thought, well, I'll just take that path. Everything seemed fine. I mean, I can walk 900 meters, so I keep walking, and basically, about halfway there, the path just ends. I reach another resort, and that's it, dead end. There's no road beyond that point. I didn't really get it. I was confused. I thought, what should I do now? I mean, where am I supposed to go with this big bag? I opened Google Maps and plot a route to my resort. It tells me, well, basically, there's no road along the sea. You need to go around through the jungle on some other path, and your trip will take about 56 minutes. So, I'm kind of shocked and I write to the hotel. Could you maybe explain this to me? I mean, I got off at this big pier, but it turns out there's no road to your hotel. Well, I mean, there's kind of a road. I see some people just walking further along the sand by the sea. But they don't have as much luggage as I do. If you just have a backpack, then it's fine. It's 400 or 500 meters to walk, no problem. But with my big suitcase, it's just impossible. The hotel writes back, it's no big deal, you can just walk along the sea. But I can't walk along the sea. My suitcase is huge, I need some kind of taxi. And then the hotel stopped responding. I don't know why. Well, as it turned out later, maybe they were on lunch break or something. The receptionist, so to speak, stepped away for a while and wasn't responding to my messages. And that was basically it. I had to look for a taxi on the island. I found a taxi that tipped me for $5, more or less, along this incredible road. But in reality, there's basically no road there at all. It was just a terrible sight. Here's some footage from my trip. And that's basically it. I arrive at this resort. The hotel staff greets me. I say, I don't really get it. Where did I make a mistake? The boat dropped me off at that far pier over there. How am I supposed to get to you? What went wrong? Why? He says, well, you should have told. I'm not sure of who, maybe the captain, that you needed to be dropped off at a different pier. The pier called Barcus. That's the hotel's private pier. I didn't quite understand how this works. If anyone has had this kind of vacation experience here on the island, how does it actually work? I mean, would a big boat really dock at a different pier just to drop me off alone and then continue on? I didn't really get it. Well, I have to say, the management at this resort is pretty customer-oriented and accommodating. That evening, dinner was on the house, so they didn't take any money from me. He even apologized for this awkward situation and said that on my way back, when I'm leaving the hotel, they'll make sure the boat comes specifically for me, right to this hotel's pier. Basically, this resort hotel has its own pier. Well, alright, okay. So, that's how it went. Basically, you need to be very careful when you buy a boat ticket to this island. You have to clearly understand how you'll get from the pier to your local destination, whether it's a resort or a hotel. So either the hotel staff should meet you, or you need to ask the boat captain to drop you off at the exact pier you need. And actually, I also realized that for some hotels here, people might not be brought by land taxi, not by car or tuk-tuk, but are simply dropped off at a big pier, like this one, for example. And then from there, they take you further on another boat. Well, something like that. That's the kind of funny situation that happened to me. So be careful when you buy tickets to Koh Rong Island, Cambodia. Alright, that's the end of this funny story. Next up are pictures and videos of this beautiful place on Koh Rong Island. This is how clear the water is in the sea, and this is how many fish there are here. If you came to this island to relax with kids, there are some activities here for little tourists. Basically, there are these big inflatable figures of popular cartoon characters that are really trendy right now. Well, as for me, I think I'll go relax in the pool. And when I got to the pool, this is what I saw. Some English-speaking video bloggers were really going all out, filming some kind of reel about cocktails floating in the pool with the sea in the background. Apparently, it was really important to them. Now let me show you the hotel grounds in daylight, right around noon, so to speak. As for prices, in case anyone's interested, there's actually a store about a 15-minute walk from this resort, and the prices there are the same as in Sihanoukville, not any higher. If anyone wants to rent a scooter and ride around the island, yes, that's possible too. At this resort, you can rent a scooter for about $15 per day. Finally, a few more words about Cambodia. Cambodia offers significant advantages for foreign real estate investors. It combines dynamic economic growth, an attractive legal framework, and opportunities for high returns. The local real estate market stands out for its regional competitiveness and favorable conditions that are well suited for international investors.
The country has an annual GDP growth of about 5.5% to 7%. This is happening thanks to strong support from major direct foreign investments. This dynamic is driving infrastructure development, which is especially noticeable in Phnom Penh, where new residential and commercial complexes are rapidly transforming the cityscape. Prices here are still relatively affordable. The price per square meter in the capital ranges from $1,500 to $3,000. At the same time, the gross rental yield reaches 5 to 7% per year. And tourism is developing very rapidly here. For example, according to statistics, in 2023 Cambodia was visited by 2,300,000 tourists. All of this supports the demand for rentals. The cost of living here is also still quite low compared to other capitals in the region. There are also other advantages here, such as the free circulation of foreign currency and unrestricted profit repatriation. Yes, in Cambodia you can pay in US dollars. In other words, dollars are used here alongside the local currency.
So, what's up? My fourth day in this paradise is coming to an end. Tomorrow, a boat will take me back to Sihanoukville. After spending some time here, I want to tell you that if you're looking for a place to get away from civilization, to sort of hide from it, then this is actually a pretty good option. There's hardly any civilization here, but the nature, well, it's just beyond words. As you've already seen in the video, there's a gorgeous sandy beach, clear warm sea. Everything is surrounded by greenery, trees, and jungle everywhere. During my entire stay here, I haven't seen any crowds at all. There are just a few tourists, and everyone is relaxing in pairs. I've seen Americans, Italians, French, and Israelis. But of course, the largest group here is the Chinese. Yeah, there are a lot of Chinese people everywhere here. And that's pretty much it. No one's crowding the pool or the cafe at breakfast, and so on. In other words, there are hardly any people, but nature is everywhere. But again, if you want to party, then you probably need to choose a different resort. Not this one, but any other, for example, on the same beach, just over on that side. That's where the nightlife is. Here, well, it's kind of a dead end. To put it bluntly, there's just a cape over there. No one ever just passes by here. Beyond that cape, There's just another bay, but you can't get there easily. You'd have to go by sea. So, that's how it is. But overall, if you really want to get some sleep and swim in the sea, this is a pretty good option. Alright, that's it. See you tomorrow. If you're interested in Cambodian real estate, the link to the online application form for property selection in Cambodia is provided in the description of this video.
Good morning, everyone. So, my escape from civilization has come to an end. My stay on this beautiful island of Koh Rong at this pretty decent resort is over. By the way, here's the very pier where a boat will pick me up soon. And basically, if you don't want to end up in the same awkward situation I did, when you buy tickets from Sihanoukville to this island to get to Vong Set Beach, you need to tell someone to drop you off specifically at this pier. So, this is a private pier called Barkers. It has nothing to do with this resort, and that way you won't end up in the same awkward situation I did. Well, that's all for today. Bye. See you in the next video.
This is what the boat looks like. We set off towards Sihanoukville.